Hello everyone, welcome to Code and Box Automation Lab. This is Sharful. This tutorial it's about to nail down a very important questions: how you can start your career as a test automation engineer. Okay, we'll try to discuss about these questions and also find out the answer in terms of technology as well as the tools you need to learn as a guide path. Okay, let's so the question is how to start my career as a software test engineer. Making this video because a lot of people I feel like they're confused about what would be the right path if I want to start as a software test engineer as a fresh graduate, or you wanna change your career as a test engineer. So this is a solid guideline for all of you who are very puzzled about your career, that how you can start your career as a software engineer. Okay, so I divided this guideline in two phases. Number one, first is learn manual testing, Agile method based on Agile methodologies. It means you have to know the manual testing, all different definition of the manual testings, different test strategies, like static strategies, the dynamic strategies. There's lots of definitions about the manual testing, like what is functional testing, security testing, regression testing, smoke testing. All those things are very basic that you have to know before you start your career as a test engineer. Okay, and there is two types of methodologies in testing when a software project build. It could be Agile methodologies, and there is another traditional methodologies. It's called the waterfall methodologies. But in industry right now, across, I would say 90%, above 90% software company, they follow Agile methodologies. So it's better to follow the Agile methodologies. And there is a very famous tools. Those are the perfect for Agile methodologies, which is Jira or Microsoft Test Manager. So use either one of the tools and learn the Agile methodologies, all of the steps. So what is a Scrum? What is Agile methodologies? The benefits, the difference between Agile methodologies and waterfall methodologies. And then what is Epic? What is story? What is story points? Get to know all the steps, as well as how we can manage and maintain your testing activities through the Jira. How we can create your test cases. All those things you have to know very well. So this is the first thing. There is no way you can skip that part. I can show you some of the example. If you go to our website codeandbox.com, and here if you go select category, and if you go manual testing, there's a number of in a blog or article related to manual testing. So you can come over here. First, manual testing definition. You can see there is lots of definition. First is software development. What is software development life cycle? What is testing life cycle? What is test case? The type of test case, like positive test case, negative test case, right? So what is black box testing, security testing, sanity testing? All of those definitions that you have to know. Okay, this is just theoretical, but you have to know to enrich your knowledge about manual testing. Okay, and after that, if you go back here, you can see there is some technique. Okay, the test design technique, like statics technique, dynamic technique, black box technique. All those techniques you have to know. And here is one example. So the test case example based on online shopping application. What would be your test case scenarios flow if you have an application like an online shopping application? This is some examples. Okay, just read it, or there's tons of online information you can search online in Google or YouTube. You will find to get to information. All you need to take the steps and take the time to read and get to know about the manual testing. Okay, And also then it's next as I said, based on Agile methodologies and using Jira or Microsoft Test Manager, either any one of the tool. If you go to our Code Inbox, we have a channel. I believe you already know the Code Inbox Automation Lab. There is a channel, and here is a Agile. Okay, well, if you go to the playlist or videos, you will find there is a number of videos, like number 3 or 4 videos related with Agile. So I showed you each and every process involved with Agile technology, Agile methodologies, Scrum technology. What is Scrum? How it uses all different stage involved with the Agile methodologies, and also using all the I use one small project, make a small project like based on Walmart, and then I showed how we can create a project, how we can add your member, how we can create epics story point, how we can, what will happen during the planning meetings, so what will happen, all different others the activities in Agile methodologies, as well as how we can handle your test activities through the Jira tools. Everything is done by Jira tools. So you can watch these three video, all those videos. So like Agile part 1, part 2, part 3, these 3 will give you complete idea, and it's a good enough understanding about the Agile process as well as the methodologies and using Jira tool. Okay, so next is learn SQL SQL basics. So SQL basics, so SQL is structured query language. Probably SQL, it's a very easy language that's used in the backend when you have applications. Example, you have the application, say we all use Facebook. When we click, or YouTube, we click on like button, right? We click on like, we do some comments. So where those information saved, it's all those saved in the behind the scene. There's a backend database according to that application, and in SQL is one of the language that's used to build the backend database. So you have to know at least the basic SQL command. Like, it's not difficult. SQL is very easy language, and you have to know like the basic commands. Like, as a test engineer, all you are going to use in the backend, like you have to know any specific data where it's saved in the backend. So like the tables, the columns, all you have to know how to retrieve those data from the database. So most of the time you are going to use a select command. Like you are going to use some of the aggregate function, like min, max. Those are the aggregate function you are going to use most of the time. Some join, like inner join, outer join, left join, right join. Those are the joins, so that you can retrieve or fetch your expected data from specific tables or more than one tables. Okay, those are the SQL's command that you need to know. But it's the basic level. You don't have to know how you're gonna write the program. You don't have to know those things, right? All you have to know how to retrieve the data. You don't have to know, you don't have to create any program or function based on SQL. No. Next is learn web automation and Selenium web automation or UI automation. And web automation, so nowadays, even though you are going to be a like junior test engineer or just a test engineer, still the industry wants you to know that some automation experience or some automation knowledge, specifically web or UI level automation. So in considering that web automation, Selenium, it's one of the very famous API. They want that you have some knowledge or experience based on Selenium WebDriver, Selenium API, using either Java language or Python language. Selenium works with any other language like Java, Python, Ruby, JavaScript. But in our industry, most of the job it's based on either Java or Python. Java is long time is stable language, as you know, and Selenium works very nice with the Java. There's a lots of supports, online supports available based on Java, but Python is getting high demand nowadays. Like because it's of AI technology, machine learning technology, all those things. Now it's everybody is moving to Python. That's why there is an industry is getting higher demand about the based on Python, using Selenium. But there is a tons of job is still available based on Java. So you have to learn this, web or UI automation, focusing specifically Selenium API, either Java or Python. So you have to learn either one of the languages like Java or Python. So if you self learner, you can check on online. There is a lots of tutorial, that are based on Selenium for Java or Python. You can learn those languages individually first, and then get to the tutorial about the Selenium automation. Or there's a lot of industry expert you will find around you. Okay, like our Code and Box Automation Lab, we also teach the Selenium training. We do the Selenium end-to-end training based on Java, and soon we're going to open also based on Python training too. So either way, there's a lots of tutorials also available in online. So you can, if you have a prior programming knowledge, so you can easily grab and understand those. Just follow the the process, all of the technology involved with this Selenium, and do the project and do some practice. Okay, that's will be give you your complete will give you the ability to get into the job market. So this is the first three for the phase one. This is your minimum things right now to get into the market. Learn manual testing based on Agile methodology using Jira or Microsoft Test Manager tools. Have a SQL basic knowledge, and must have a web automation experience or knowledge based on Selenium API using Java or Python. And after that, after you get into the market or get in the job field, and then if you will see down to the road, you have to upgrade your skill, to survive, as well as to be a senior position, to be a lead position. That time you have to upgrade your skill also. You have to show your knowledge, some extra knowledge, because the industry, it's the technology industry it's moving, it's very quick, very fast. So you have to move on with the technology demand, the market demand. So in phase 2, this is kind of like a little bit advanced level, I would say. Yeah, your target would be learn web services API testing. Web services and API testing is getting very famous day by day. I can just give you a little example. If you buy a ticket from a airline, say Air Canada, on the right side you will see there's a lot of pop-up option, advertisement. It shows you to reserve a hotel. So even a hotel, the booking hotel is not the core job from Air Canada, but they are getting those advertisement from like hotel.com and other companies. So what they do, those companies, hotel.com, other company, they are sharing their API, and those API, it's a headless coding, interface that's embedded. The Air Canada said, the developer. So they give you some suggestion based on your location where you are going to when you buy a ticket. So and they share the profits. So those are the it's one of the example API. You will see that API nowadays is very, very famous. The business trend right now. It's everybody using web services or API. Their application, you have a different companies, but you are using others companies API that shows their services, and if there is a sale happen, they both the profit gets distributed. So that's why it's API web services testing it's getting very famous. So SOAPUI, Postman, or Rest Assured, those are the famous tools across the industry that uses that are used to do the web service or API testing. And next, mobile testing. Yes, there is no doubt that the mobile testing it's already demandable based on Android as well as iOS app. So you have to know if you want to move on or improve your career according to the test engineer path. So you have to upgrade your skill to know how to do the mobile automation testing. So best would be the Appium is the tool that you can use Appium for doing the mobile automation testing. If you know the Selenium Selenium API, Selenium automation, and if you then try to learn Appium, your 50% learning already will be done as soon as you finish the Selenium web automation, because Appium is nothing, it's just an extension of Selenium. Okay, it's an extension of Selenium, so it's going to be very easy for you for learning the Appium for doing the mobile testing. Next is ETL and big data testing. Well, it's the ETL and a big data. We heard a lot nowadays. You will hear more and more about the big data. Big data is like a large set of data. So if you love SQL, if you love database, if you have good experience and knowledge, it's gonna be easier for you for doing ETL and big data. But you need experience for doing ETL and big data. It's not like other traditional testing, traditional database testing. This is, you need some sort of good amount of experience and the knowledge for doing the ETL and big data testing. But it's a very high demand in the market, and it's the upcoming market is going to be demandable. Is going to be very demandable. So for big data testings, it's they use a different type of application, like Hadoop application, Zookeeper application. You can use those type of applications or framework for doing the big data testing. So what it does, like you will have or ETL testing, you will have a data source. So example, data source, your different kind of social media can be your data source, or you can have different companies, they will have a data warehouse, that those can be your data source. And after that, you have to transfer those data sources in different stage, and then you have to move to data. There will be target where you want to march those data to target, and this is like terabyte data. It's huge data. It's a big data. It's like a big large number of data. It's like a terabyte data, as I said, and the process is very fast. So you need a certain skill for doing ETL and big data testing, but it's very demandable, and it's going to more demand because of all technologies, like the data science technology or deep learning technologies. It's now coming to the market. So, but those will be very when you already have experience, all different technology, then you can go for ETL or big data testing. But so overall now, here is a recap. Phase 1, focus on phase 1. If you are a fresh graduate, or you want to start your career in a new career as a test engineer, just focus on phase 1. Learn manual testing based on Agile methodologies using Jira or Microsoft Test Manager tool. Learn basic SQL command, and learn at least UI or web automation based on Selenium using Java or Python. Okay, then you will figure out the phase 2 as I explained you. Okay, so that's all for today. Hope you enjoy the tutorial, and we'll see you in next video.